Let x and y be continuous random variables with PDF 15y. Let g be the marginal density function of y. Determine which of the following represents g. So first of all, let's look at this area. Normally they give us both the x and y bounds, but you will see why here it's enough to just have these bounds. So y is between x squared and x. So y equals x squared we know is this blue curve, and y equals x is this yellow line. And so we want the area in between these two. So that's the area between this yellow line and the blue segment here. And so now you can see that they didn't need to give us the x bounds. We can see what the x bounds are automatically by looking at where the line and the curve intersect. So we are to find the marginal density function of y. So the marginal density function of y is f subscript y of y, and that's obtained by integrating the joint PDF over the bounds for the x. So basically, if you integrate the x out of the equation, then what's left is the marginal PDF of y. And similarly, if you needed a marginal PDF of x, so then you would just integrate the joint PDF with respect to y. And now, in this case, since we have to integrate with respect to x first, and so we need the x bounds. So we go on a horizontal strip. So the left bound for x is y on this line, and the x value over here is square root y, because the curve was y equals x squared, and from here the x value is square root of y by taking square root of both sides. So x goes from y to square root of y. So that is why we have y to square root of y, because you have to integrate the PDF or joint PDF over the x, and the joint PDF was 15y. If you look here, 15y. And once you integrate this, so it's very important to keep an eye on the variable of integration. It could be a easy mistake to make by saying, okay, the integral from x to x squared, but the x to x squared are the bounds for the y. Whereas if you are doing dx, you need the bounds for the x. So x is y to square root y. So integral of 15y with respect to x is just 15yx, because 15y is a constant. So y to square root y. So you substitute these for the x. So you get square root y minus y, and the 15y outside. So then distribute y times square root y is y 3/2 minus y squared. So right now, none of the answers is in this form. But if you factor out that y power 3/2, you will be left with 1 minus y power 1/2. And that is actually choice D and E. But now we have to figure out what the bounds for y are. So the bounds for y will be the constants in the end. So in the end, you will pick up y. So we already have gone from x equals y to square root of y. And then when you're looking for the bounds of y, they will just be 0 to 1, just as we do when we are doing usual double integration. So y goes from 0 to 1. And that will be, so we already know that this is the function, and y goes 0 to 1. That means it will be choice E.